Oh yeah, hi all. This is Anders and Ville from Altitude 365.
Yeah, hi everyone. Now we're going to dive into this terrible Teams meeting. So imagine it about right.
So, hi everyone. Sorry I'm late. Actually, first time I'm using Teams, so let's see how this goes. This meeting, wow, a lot of people invited. Well, I seems to forgot the agenda, but all right, I remember now. This is an important meeting to say at least. We're going to make important decisions how we're gonna have our meeting culture here at the company. Do we have any important decisions maker here? Somewhere? Okay. I think I invited Bob here, but he never shows up in my meetings anyway, so okay.
Yeah, Bob is here. I was muted, so sorry about that. And I kind of do show up in your meetings.
Oh, sorry. How's the wife?
Yeah, don't go there, man. Just get this meeting over with.
Okay, sorry. All right. So do we have John here?
Yeah, hi, this is John here.
You wanted to present some of the more important topics of today?
Yeah, exactly. Let me just get the PowerPoint up and running out here. Also, Chris, can you take some notes?
Sure thing. No problem. I will do.
Perfect. Chris, the sound. Could you could you mute while taking the notes? Yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
Perfect. Okay, so perfect. Can everyone see my presentation?
No?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can see it.
Okay. Oh yeah. So, all right. I'll just assume everyone sees my presentation. So, I know how you guys hate PowerPoint. So don't worry. I just got one slide. This is all you need to know, and I mean all you need to know, right? So let's just dive right into it. And as you can see right here on the screen, it's about the importance of coming prepared to meetings. This is very essential, and oh, that bit didn't actually fit into the screen. I'm sorry about that one, guys. But by the end of the day, we need to have more discipline in these meetings. How do we get there? That's super important. Now, I'm not sure if everyone saw the little arrow down there, effective leadership. Management told me to bring that one in as well. Super important. I got to go from left to right. Just management told me to bring that in. So I just want to make sure everyone saw that, right? Now, I have some great ideas down in the left of the screen. Now, I just kind of realized it's maybe too small for you to see, but there are a lot of great ideas there, and maybe I think we should implement a few of those.
Hello, Magnus here. Sorry for being late. Sorry, my cat got stuck in the engine room and I had to feed it. Do you guys have any cats?
No, I don't have any cats, but we're actually in the middle of something right here, so maybe you can just sneak in and be silent. Yes. Okay. So down to the left, I got some great ideas. Well, you can't really see them right now, but we should implement a few of those, maybe. And let's not dwell on this super clear PowerPoint. It's all in the PowerPoint, and you can just memorize this for later. So when in doubt, just focus on what really matters, and that's make sure you are very clear, like this. Super clear. Thanks you, Anders, and back to you.
Okay, thank you for that very clear presentation. Let's move on then. I know that I'm not that great with PowerPoint, and actually I can't manage it at all. So I sent you an important Word document by email. I think you all have one copy of it. So can you please open up page 17 and just give me a heads up when you're done?
Yeah, this is Martin here. I didn't get the file.
Okay, I'll send you a new copy then. Anyone else who didn't get it?
No, you're here. I got it, but I can't find page 17. What's the headline I'm looking for?
The importance of preparation and using the built-in features is the name of it.
Oh, can't seem to find it. I'll keep looking though.
Okay, guys, this might not work as intended. The point is, it is super important that we prepare before the meetings so that we don't waste any time for any one of us. And another big decision is to stop buying third-party software for things that we can already do in the things we already have. So, Michael, can you comment on Ville's slide?
Yeah, hi, Michael here. Well, I kind of called into the meeting using my phone. I'm out walking the dogs. I can't see the screen. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I just mute you then.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Ville?
Oh, so sorry, guys. I didn't get to eat my lunch today, so I'm just eating an apple. Don't let me bother.
Oh, come on, people, please focus here. I know Mark wanted to say something important stuff about meetings as well. Mark? Hello?
Hello, what's going on?
I think we can't hear him, like bad reception or so.
Hello?
Okay, I think we come back to Mark later.
Hi all, this is Steve. I had some back-to-back meetings and I'm way out of schedule, people. I'm super sorry I'm being late, but I had another meeting and it was super important. I couldn't just drop out, So could you maybe give me a recap of everything that's been going on here for the past minutes, maybe?
Well, we have been discussing the importance of preparation when it comes to meetings.
Hi all, this is Ville here from Altitude 365. Just could we not have cleared this out using a conversation in Teams instead of having a meeting in the first place?
I guess you're right. Besides, our important decision making didn't even show up anyway. So sorry for wasting your time, everyone.
Okay, so how can we make sure we never ever end up in this kind of situation with this kind of super terrible Teams meeting? Well, if we move on to the first one, don't use Teams for the first time when entering your important meeting. This is so simple to fix, you guys. Just try to have a meeting with yourself, click on some buttons, see what happens, or invite someone you trust. Invite someone you are familiar with, someone you work close with maybe. Just invite them to a Teams meeting and just see what happens. Like click on some buttons and see how the system reacts to that. That way you won't find yourself for the first time trying to share your screen, trying to figure out how everything works. So that's pro tip number 1, really. And set up a good meeting name. Meeting is not a good meeting name. Invite only those who has value of the meeting and write the agenda. Now, I want to linger to this one a little bit. You see, I've switched it around. Most people say that you should only invite so many to this meeting, or you're focusing on, who do we need in this meeting? Try to focus this the other way around. Try to focus on who is benefiting from being in the meeting, and by doing that, invite only those who has value of the meeting instead of who the meeting has value of. I'm not really sure if you understand what I'm meaning, but try to switch it around and try to put yourself in the shoes of others. Like, will this be feeling like it's wasting my time, or will this be valuable for me as an individual? If so, then invite me to the meeting, and try to kind of think of it through the attendees way instead of your own way. So that's also very, very important. Now, sorry, just one click back. In regards of agenda, there is called auto text, and I don't have the picture of it, but I'm using this all the time to have better meetings. Like every time I'm opening up a new meeting, I'm just typing in the word meeting in the what's called braided text. And using auto text, I will get the basics for my agenda, like this, the purpose of this meeting is, and the expected outcome from this meeting is. And then I have the agenda part. So I will send you a link to a blog post describing how you can set this up for yourself and how you can, get up and running really, really quick using a clear agenda on every meeting you're sending out. Now we can move on to the next point. So that's practice so that you're familiar with the system and don't miss out stuff like, for example, letting someone in from the lobby. Now this one is fairly uncommon, I'd say. because it goes right into your face, and you can just see that there's someone waiting for you in the lobby. You should let that person in. And besides, usually anyone in the meeting would be kind enough to let people in, so that's a minor problem. But something that I see all the time is people forgetting to unmute. They're forgetting, like, how do I turn on my camera, and when it's on, how do I turn it off? And this is turned on right now, but it's the wrong camera. How do I switch this to the right one? And another thing that is, for me at least, one of the more common problems is when you share stuff. Like, you open the share tray, and I assume for everyone in this meeting, it's super obvious that you have the desktop on the left, and then you have like the windows, and then you have the PowerPoints. But for most users, or for many users, I've found that it isn't that clear, that it's actually columns of different categories, and it's then dropping down. So that's the first thing people tend to make some mistakes about. For example, I've got the question like, I've clicked the browse button, but I can only find PowerPoints. Yeah, that's because you're trying to browse for PowerPoints. But I kind of get that in their mind, they're looking for something else. So practice so that you're familiar with the system and that you don't miss out simple stuff when the important meeting is actually upon you. Let's see if we have the next one. Don't kill people using PowerPoints of death. Now, you can actually have my slide as a kind of like scaring example. I try to make the most out of it. I try to put in every single thing that I don't like about PowerPoints and everything that is not clear. But for real, just don't rely on the PowerPoint too much. Rely on yourself a little bit more and practice it. And people don't tend to just want to, they don't. How should I put it? People want to rest their eyes on something, like in this case, you want to rest your eyes on the PowerPoint picture, but I wouldn't be very helpful if I just put all the text in that I'm actually saying to you, and then just reading it out loud. You can read that yourself. So try to use some features, some effects, but not too many of them. And if you need any tips on setting up PowerPoints, I'm, for some reason, a certified PowerPoint specialist, so I can just help you out with that. Just give me a call or give me a heads up, and I'll be glad to help you prevent more PowerPoints of death, death by PowerPoints. Sorry. This one is maybe one of my favorites. I don't think I can say what I'm usually saying when it's recorded, but the assumption is the mother of all. Let's just say it like that. So when we assume things, that's when it goes wrong. That's when it really goes to the south. So don't assume, make sure. Like in our case, the guy who was out walking his dog, just because you have a Teams meeting, just because you have the ability to actually be a part of this meeting without, attending physically, doesn't mean you can just go around and do whatever you want. You gotta make sure that you are not supposed to look at a presentation or that you will be presenting. And besides, going outside to walk the dog while you have this meeting, super disrespectful for pretty much everyone in the meeting, unless you're just going to listen in. As soon as you try to say something, the wind will just blow right into your microphone, disturb everyone in the meeting. So don't assume, and instead make sure that you are, before the meeting, aware of what your expectations are, not just for the meeting for you, but from you to the meeting as well. You have actually a responsibility in this place as well. Like me as the organizer, yeah, sure. I do have the responsibility to set a nice agenda, to set a clear agenda, to show really what's expected from people to show up in this meeting. But me as an attendee, I also have a responsibility to make sure and don't assume things and be part of this meeting and make sure that I know what is expected from me in this meeting so that I can bring that in. I assume all of you guys have had a Teams meeting or another meeting where people sit down and they just say like, oh, okay, perfect. What is it that we will be discussing during this meeting? Oh, if I just knew that, I could have printed out those documents, or I could have downloaded that data beforehand. But let's just do it in the meeting instead. Not really that super effective, guys. So that's also one of the important things. Yeah, like don't assume, make sure. And oops, got the other wrong way around. So meetings in Teams are great, but be sure they're needed. I get kind of the sense that, you know, that it's the go-to solution. It's the default go-to solutions for any kind of decision making. Like, we need to make a decision about this. Yeah, let's have a meeting. We need to make a decision about that. Let's have a meeting. Should we allow the door to be open or closed? Let's have a meeting about it. So not everything needs to be a meeting. And even though I like Teams meetings, I have like 100 every quarter. And not everything has to be a meeting. Now we got some inspiration for this session from a guy called, well, it doesn't really matter. I'll send the link later. And it's the conference call, it's called. And he speaks during a TED talk about something called MAS, which is mindless acceptance syndrome. And that's when you are just receiving these calendar invites, and without thinking, you just accept them because they're meetings. You have to attend meetings, right? So that's also something that I want to send like over to you guys to kind of think that one through. Am I really needed for this meeting or not? As a general, not just in Teams meetings. Now, Anders, you had some bullet points as well, if I don't recall incorrectly.
Yeah, there's more, of course. Be on time. And of course, we want to be on time in every meeting, but be on time means that you can start the meeting at the appointed time. So if you had a meeting at 3 o'clock, be prepared and connected before the meeting, like you did in this meeting. You connected a couple of minutes before and make sure that you can see the screen, and if you're gonna have a presentation, that you have your PowerPoint up and running and all that stuff. And don't hassle with tech and camera and all that stuff after the meeting actually has started. And about the devices, use proper devices. I've been in so many meetings where people are using their mic and speaker in the computers, or even worse, in other devices. So use proper devices, whether it's a camera or whether it's a headset, or I rather use Teams in the mobile devices than using devices using the built-in devices in the computers. And if you're gonna have a presentation like we're doing right now, if you have the possibility to use a wired connection, I know that they're not that common anymore on most offices, most using Wi-Fi. But if it's possible, try to use it, or make sure that you have a good Wi-Fi connection before you start the meeting. And the camera. Use the camera. And you know how the situation is right now for more or less everyone on the planet. And we get more distance to people. If you use the camera, you will see your colleagues a little bit more often than you do these days. But you can also make sure that everyone is focused on the meeting. Not using the camera is give the possibility to do some extra works on the side, or answer an email, or pick up your phone and just check a message.
And while we're at this point, just see what I did right now. I started my camera, which I maybe should have done before, but and what happens is that I see at least one more person turning on their camera as well. So this is kind of like creating a movement, and this is something that you can do yourself. Use the camera yourself, and others will follow.
Yes, and don't be shy to actually note that in the meeting request, in the agenda. In this meeting, we use the camera. And if you're coming in late, we had an example of that during our meeting. And this is something that, I don't know why, but this happens in meetings I'm attending as well. People are coming in late and they start talking about anything or nothing, middle of something. So if you're coming in late, just slide in and just follow on into the conversation that is there.
Exactly. Don't hijack the conversation talking about cats or that you need to feed your cat. People who are already in the meeting tend to be, talking about some stuff before you entered. Now in Teams, there is you're joining the meeting and there are a lot of attendees already in there, so you will be joining muted feature, which is awesome, and this is a lot of in many ways helpful. But as you said, Anders, and I also still see this, people are still joining the meeting, unmuting themselves, and then excusing themselves for being late, and then just telling some excuse on why they were late, and really just changing the topics of whatever we were talking about before.
Yeah, and while there's talk about mute and unmute, if you really need to eat something during a meeting, use the mute button. This is also something that happens from time to time. So, and if I want to include, it's an online meeting, Teams, and we have all those functions in there. But the conclusion is to behave it like it's a physical meeting. Be on time. Don't drop in like 10 minutes late and start fiddling with a computer or eating an apple or telling some excuse while in the middle of some presentation. So
yeah, exactly. Like, and what we're fetching at here, because obviously we also understand that physical meetings and Teams meetings are not the same things. But if you respect the meeting the same way the Teams meeting as you do with a physical meeting, you wouldn't, for example, just slide into a meeting with 40 persons and interrupt and start to discuss something else, which I've actually been exposed to, and it has happened. But I'd say it's rarely or ever that it's happened to me during a physical meeting, where we are like 40 people in a room, and then someone sneaks in through the back door and says, "Oh, hey everyone, sorry I'm being late." But people just sneak in, sit down, be quiet.
Yep.
And we got a question here. Can you remind how to set the background? Well, right now for most of us, exactly. For most of us, you have to click the 3 more actions buttons and click blur my background. That's what we get to live with for this moment being. And then if you work at Microsoft, you will already have the feature of choosing your own background. And if this isn't enough for you, you can use the snap camera. This is definitely out of context for our session, but feel free to ask any questions right now while I set up the snap camera. And which is basically I can send you the link to this one as well. Super relevant to the case, by the way. But please do ask any kind of questions and rate the sessions, of course. We will also be giving you like 6 minutes back of your life. I'll restart my camera. Is that the feature you're using right now, Marcel, by the way?
Let me see. It's called the application called XSplit Vicam. And you can add custom backgrounds, you can add custom YouTube videos, everything.
The real question is though, can you become a potato?
Oh yes, wait. Wait.
Like this. This super important stuff.
Oh yeah.
So for all you attendees, how you do this is basically you install the software on your computer, and then that takes over the camera. And when you go into the 3 dots, the more action menu in the Teams meeting, you get to show the device settings, and you can just choose another camera on the right side. In my case, it's called the snap camera, but in Marcel's case, it's called something else, I assume. There we go with the toilet paper. Relevant in this time of need for some. I think I can have some of myself like this.
Now I feel boring.
This is actually one of those underestimated effects that we were having a kickoff this last Friday, and it was obviously a virtual kickoff. So we were using these filters during the virtual after work, that we were also having after the kickoff. Does anyone have any kind of questions about, regarding Teams meetings?
The links, is that the links for the plugins or?
Yeah, I'll send you the link for the Snap camera, and Marcel, you can send the link to whatever camera you're using.
Yeah, will do.
Now we have another one with a cat on his head. It's going to be rated the session with the best tips ever. We were able to use AR technology in the Teams meeting. Can you imagine? Yeah, I'll Google up the links right now. And we have four more minutes for questions. Camera. And I'm taking exactly no responsibility for if this has any kind of effect on your computer that well, that's on you guys. How many takes it took for you to get the show done without rolling on the floor at laughter? Well, Anders, I think this is probably the first time we did the whole thing without, stopping and laughing. And this is really also out of our comfort zone because we are not actors.
Still experience from the field. Thank you.
Now we have two cameras, two of the same cameras. While we're actually waiting, I can show you, because I have 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all I need to actually set this or show this. I told you about the auto text. So if I try to hijack the message here. So if you just open a new email or a new meeting invite, you can type in, in my case, for example, this template with background. The purpose of this meeting is, the expected outcome from this meeting is, and then the agenda. Now, when you type this out, you can just select it like this, go to Insert, choose Quick Parts, and save this as an auto text. And you do this right down here on the right. So save selection to auto text gallery. And when you do this, you just name it something that's going to be the trigger. So in my case, I've named this meeting already. So when I start to type the word meeting, I can just press enter and I get this template right into the box. So this is how I start all of my new invites in Teams. I give it a name, invite the people in, and then I set the background, purpose, and expected outcome. It also gives me like a good feeling on, do I really need to invite all these people into the meeting, or should I let someone go and just ask them a question before the meeting instead? I just realized I still have toilet paper on my head.
Look serious.
Very serious.
Yeah.
Very serious indeed.
Yeah, I think the time's up though.
Yep. Thank you, Vesa, for providing the feedback form again.
Thank you.
And NG, the last question down there. No, we're using something called a Snap camera. You have some links up in the chat. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye all.